Hi, peoples. That is right. This is Good and Bad, and we are, in fact, live for this one. It's been an interesting couple of weeks since we had our last actual Good and Bad video, but instead of just doing a recorded one, figured we'd have some fun doing a live one with you guys today. So, on that note, let's go ahead and get started. Hey everyone, I am Finity with Reality Skewed Gamers, and I am joined by two of our awesome D&D players from our normal Star Wars campaign. We're currently off today, but they are here to kind of help and talk about Galaxy of Heroes. Introducing first, in the top, it is Devil's Treasure. Say hi to the people's Devil Treasure.
Hey RSG, what's going on, guys?
And then down below, after freshly putting on a shirt, it is Grim. I know. Sometimes, sometimes you just don't need, sometimes you just don't want a shirt. I understand.
Actually, it was more of a put on a clean shirt because I was doing a bunch of yard work today, so I was all
Either way,
dirty.
I mean, a shirt is a shirt. It does help. So, yeah. All right, so we are here for Good and Bad, and if you guys are not familiar with this, this is the show where we go through the news and the notes, usually from the past week. However, we have been off for a little while, and so it is going to be over the last 2 weeks that we're going to go over the news and go ahead and tell you what we think and whether or not we give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Now, we are, as much as 2 weeks seems to have somewhat flown by, and as exhausted as I am, there hasn't been a whole lot that has gone on. But there have been some things that were of importance. So, first off, was my birthday. Hee 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 hee.
Business is good.
That's right. So that's getting his first thumbs up. Okay, so we get the first thumbs up. Then it was Ranger's birthday, so we're gonna give that a thumbs up.
Business is good.
I don't know. I think that was probably about this because he didn't get wasted. So
That's true.
I mean,
that's true.
Yet.
So Ranger didn't get
actually,
drunk.
you know what? I'd give it a thumbs up because Heinzie's awesome.
So there we go. Starting off with 2 thumbs up, and then we had Revenator thumbs down for Ranger's birthday. Hey, I'm not nice. All right, we also had the 4-year anniversary of RSG, which is of course a thumbs up.
Business is good.
Now,
what I double thumbs up.
So what I realized though, on a completely side note, right, is I went onto Twitch, and it was somebody else's 4th year anniversary as well. It was Amaranth's 4-year anniversary.
Wow.
And for her 4-year anniversary, she decided to sleep on stream. And people were throwing money at her. And I'm thinking, looking back, we may have made a mistake in what we did for the 4th anniversary. I think we just need a stream of all of us just sleeping.
I mean, keep on telling you, you're missing out, Finn.
I know. The more I think about
people fork over lots of money for the sleeping ASMR streams.
I know.
Or even just the chair stream. I mean, you don't even need to be there.
That's true. I mean, I think like we're missing out on opportunities, and we should just be like just straight up streaming like us sleeping from now on. 5-year anniversary should just be us sleeping, like just all the RSG members, overnight stream, all of us just flat out sleeping. The most
I don't
ridiculous stream of all.
The 5th year one, it might not be voluntary sleeping stream.
How would that make you feel, Finn, if the most popular video was everyone just snoozing?
Yeah, welcome to our 5-year anniversary.
We've been doing this for 5.
So Todd.
Oh God, Wolfell, they'll play the 666 donation at random times, and then business will be good. That will be awful. Just wake us up in the middle of our sleep. That would be pretty damn awful. All right, you know what I just realized? Hold on, I got to do one thing here. But while that's going, let me go ahead and say hi to all of the lovely people in chat. We have Asuka Meow, we have Yuta, we have Dr. Feelgood, we have Maz Kanata, one of our other lovely Dungeons and Dragons players. We have Revenator, we have John Moran, another one of our awesome Dungeons and Dragons players. And we also have Wolfell and Foreigner. Hi to everybody out there. John Moran, how would Grande have pronounced Z that helps in the sleep stream? I don't know. I don't know how Grande could potentially mispronounce just a straight sequence of Z's, but I have a feeling he would be able to. I mean, somehow I believe I trust in the power of Grande to do that. I'll just throw that out there. I trust in the power of Grande. So, this is again a little bit of a special good and bad, because we are of course not doing our regular thing. Still gonna do good and bad, but we have a group with us today. We don't have our normal Dungeons and Dragons campaign, so I figured we would do this instead with you guys. And hopefully you guys are here to have some fun. We'll do this for a little bit. And really just there was one major piece of news that had come out. And what came out was, of course, the update to the Unity. And it was the technical update. So I'll bring that up here on the screen. So it was the scheduled tech update. And as part of that, they gave us a little bit more information about what they were doing in the background. So today's update improves many of the underlying technologies that are used to create Galaxy of Heroes. So I'll start off with this, and I'll kind of go to you guys to get your guys' thought too. I noticed I saw the update in the game before I saw this post. And the way I realized it was that every time I went to a different screen, in the bottom left, it was telling me it was downloading something new. And basically downloaded the whole freaking game. What I didn't realize was that this was happening, and I was not on Wi-Fi. I was on my 5G.
Oh no!
And so I'm okay because we have unlimited data, right? But halfway through it, it's like you're about to hit your 20 gigabyte throttle, because I had used it for other stuff throughout the thing, because my cycle changes in like 4 days, right? So I got an email or like a text message saying you have reached 6.5 gigabytes out of your 20 gigabyte threshold before we start to basically curb your speed. I'm like, wait, what? How? I shouldn't have that much. And then I kept realizing download. But despite that, I think it was pretty cool because do you guys see the difference in the game? Because I have been seeing a little bit in the difference in some of the animations, the effects, and in all honesty, most of the things are running a lot more smoothly than they were before. But Grim, what have you noticed?
Well,
have you noticed the difference?
The biggest thing that I've noticed is the load times are considerably faster now. And you don't get the spinning wheel of death as much anymore.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, as much being the key.
Yeah,
as much.
Encounter that.
But hey, it's better than it was before.
Yeah, it's an improvement.
But like the animations are a lot more fluid now, and the special effects for a lot of the moves, you can see all of it. You know, they seem to be a lot more vibrant and stuff. So,
and of course, I don't know if you guys have had this, DT. Maybe you've seen it in your guild. The ability to colorize your text in the guild chat has definitely struck, I think, most of Galaxy of Heroes. Has this invaded your guild, DT?
I mean, there's some, but not much. The in-game chat's not used too much. It's pretty much all Discord, but people were playing around with it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? It's a new toy. So.
It is. It is a new toy, and
this is our content, right?
It is new content, colorized text. It is fantastic. Dr. Feelgood is saying if you pull up the player portraits, they actually look like paintings. Yeah. All the graphics and everything all seem a lot better, cleaner, right? I think.
Yeah, I mean, the most important graphic update, they centered Vader, right? So they fixed him. His rework, he couldn't handle it in the portrait frame, so now it's fixed. He got buffed again.
So, I think we're seeing a lot of good there. So, to start off with, as we go through this, and there's going to be a few kind of ups and downs as we go through the entire post, because there's a few things. But for the tech update, I am in fact giving that a thumbs up.
Business is good.
And because we are actually seeing it. Now, I'm really hoping that this is going to lead to a lot more addition of stuff in game. If the problem was that they weren't in a setup where they could easily add things to the game and enhance abilities, and that's why the content release was so slow, now that they have this out there, I am really hoping that it is going to be beneficial. Hoping for new content. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't hope as much, but I am. I don't know. Should I be hopeful? Should we be hopeful, Grim, that there will be new content now that they have updated the basically the unity and the background and the structure of the game?
It's entirely possible. I mean, they were, when you think about it and look at the old engine that they used compared to Unity, they had their hands tied on what they could do in the game, really. But with Unity, sky's the limit, man.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to give us a lot of stuff, they can now.
Yes. Yes. And
hey, we might actually get a mod cap limit increase.
Even if we don't
with
get
Unity.
that, right? I've come to the point where I don't think that's going to happen, which is unfortunate, but I think it's not going to happen. I am okay with no mod cap increase if that means we get actual content like raids and stuff, right? If we start getting new raids and I can deal with the mod cap, as much as I hate it, I can deal with it. But yeah, hopefully they start bringing this out. So starting off this post, right? This is a good sign for where we are with the game. They're enhancing a lot of stuff, so I'm good. Then we got the shard shuffle. And we now have Grief Karga, Cara Dune, and Mandalorian into the nodes. Normally, this would kind of just be a neutral thing, right? They're going into just kind of the normal process. However, I am giving this a thumbs up.
Business is good.
And the reason is they put Mandalorian and Grief into fleet battles. I have been so annoyed lately that every single thing they had released for the past 4 months has been in hard nodes. Like everything has been freaking hard nodes. And I am so glad that we now have a different source that we can spend our energy on in order to get these shards. I know people have been spending it on gear and stuff, which is fine, but we should not be funneled completely into regular energy for the shards. In my opinion, I think it is good that they went into fleet battles. DT, what are your thoughts on just where they've put everything so far?
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. I'm glad that we had at least one on fleets. I would have liked to see one of them be maybe light side, mainly because I'm farming more tickets for Ray Ultimate. But I am really excited for the Mandalorian. He's awesome. He's one of the few tunes that I geared to 11 anyways at 2 or 3 stars. So I'm definitely refreshing his node. Still a hard node, so it's going to take a while, but it's exciting to be able to finish that grind for sure. And yeah, not having everything be on normal energy is nice. I don't know. It's good overall. Cantina farms now are less exciting because it gets right in the way of relics anyways. So this is fine. This is a pretty good spot.
Okay. And Grim is lighting up green and red behind him, which is good timing because this
is because of the text. The second my guild found out about it, this happened to our guild.
Yeah.
Guild chat.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. I had the same thing. We had way too much fun in there. So they then said that they updated the Supreme Leader Kylo to improve interactions against fives. Now, the rest of this is all just standard kind of regular fixes, right? I'm going to click on this link because here is why I am giving this a thumbs down.
This is bad.
They updated the AI, but they gave zero description of what they did in order to improve the interaction. We've been waiting. They already did one update for Supreme Leader Kylo. they've now done something else, and they literally are telling nobody what this interaction change is. And I think one of the biggest fears was that they would change fives and not update Kylo Ren. And it doesn't seem like it so far from people that have been talking about the interaction. It is something to do specifically with the AI, but I really wish they would have given more detail, even something high level, just saying that Kylo Ren is no longer going to be forced to attack fives. We hard coded that in there. That would have been enough, right? But they gave us nothing and just said, we changed Kylo Ren here. And these are players that have farmed extensively for it, paid for it, geared it. There are other people that have worked on the counter with fives, right? That was working, and then CG came out and said, we're changing this. And now they don't know how to adjust their strategy using these characters that they may have worked on specifically for this counter. So I understand their reason for it. I said it before. I think they needed to change the AI. I gave it a thumbs down before when they first brought it up, because they required a second change to do it and they didn't address it in the first change. And now it's getting another one because they changed it and they didn't give the explanation behind it. Grim, what did you think? Am I maybe going a little bit overboard, or is that fair just to say, like, I really wish they would have told us what they changed?
Yeah, I agree with you. I wish they would have let us know what they changed about it. But I kind of get a feeling that it may have been inherent in their Unity switch, where that might have originally been a bug, and switching to Unity actually somehow fixed it. So, I mean,
I would have been okay with that.
Was
as
that
an
really it?
explanation,
That's
too.
just my theory. That's just my theory. But yes, I agree. It still needs, at least let us know what you did.
Yeah. And the worst part is they put a link there, and it's a link to the 23rd post, and there's no, like, update on it. Like, I expected an update on it. They're literally just linking to a post from 2 weeks before they said, we're fixing it, and gave us a link to something 2 weeks ago. I'm hoping maybe he just forgot to update it or something with what they did. Because
or maybe they're
strange.
trying to, they're still searching for how they accidentally fixed it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that there's 2 points on this, right? One is, I think they're deliberately trying to, stealth adjust the AI to try and control the meta, which they've been doing for a long time, right? They've been doing it since like Jedi Knight Revan, where when they're ready for the tune to kind of rotate out, they tweak the AI back and it's not as strong.
Yeah.
But here, I don't even think they've fixed it. I think they just moved the ball, right? Like they're playing a kind of cat and mouse game with the theory crafters. This is the message that says, okay, go test it again, see what's actually happening. It might change next week, but for now, redo all your counters. And that's like, I mean, we spend a lot of time just retesting this to see what actually will work and what won't. And there's already been a few videos with, I think I saw one on Reddit the other day with someone running Padme with Cup and still winning. So it's definitely not completely fixed. There are definitely options still.
Not against Kylo, but I run Padme with Cup and it's awesome.
No. Against Kylo.
I know. I'm just saying I run Padme with Cup and I love it. It's such a weird team, and it's annoying for people when they like have to face it, because they think Cup just sucks, right? But they don't realize he's Galactic Republic, so he gets like all the benefits of courage, and he is slow. Like Cup is slow. So if you don't realize, he is stacking courage by the time his turn comes, and he can do some pretty nasty damage. It just takes a long time for him to really get to his turn, but it's actually pretty fun to watch. All right. So there is some other stuff, though, that happened besides just this that I want to point out. And the first thing is, I'm going to put it's going to be an old post, right? It has to go back to Vader and the Vader touch-up. And it's not the Vader touch-up itself, but it is the interactions we are now seeing with Rey, and I have to give this a thumbs down.
This is bad.
What I'm giving a thumbs down is now the interaction between Vader and Galactic Legend Rey. At the beginning, when they were first released, Galactic Legend Rey seemed like the PvP character. Supreme Leader Kylo seemed like the PvE character. They were both dominant in PvP, right? But we saw that Rey maybe was a little bit better, had the defensive edge a little bit to Kylo. Kylo seemed to have a few more counters to him, but seemed to dominate a lot more in the raids. They then boosted Supreme Leader Kylo twice, and everyone was basically asking, when is Rey getting a boost? Because now Kylo, at that time, maybe some people had him neck and neck, others had Supreme Leader Kylo better than Rey, and it was kind of a question, okay, so is my Rey getting a boost now, or is it just going to be Kylo that's getting these things? Then they released a touch-up to Vader. I think most of us looked at it and thought, like, this should have been released before the Galactic Legends. That way they could have been the meta for a little while before the Galactic Legends came through. But now, teams with Vader without any Galactic Legends seem to be able to beat Galactic Legend Rey. And it's not the easiest team to put together, right? You have to be somewhat of a free-to-play player in a high-end guild that is getting Watt shards, because you do need Watt on that team, and it's Vader, Watt, Fallen Basti, Thrawn, and Traya, right? So it's a kind of a hodgepodge team. But you still have this team basically comprised of free-to-play characters that can now beat Galactic Legend Rey. Which basically means that now you're going to expect a boost to Galactic Legend Rey. And my worry with all of this is that they are going to start power creeping their own power creep. We've already seen Supreme Leader Kylo get a boost. Now we're going to see Rey get a boost. Do we get to a point where now Supreme Leader Kylo people are like, well, Rey just got a huge boost. Ours was just a little bit boost, and the second boost was just to an AI. Do we get a boost in our Kylo? And then they kind of go back and forth, and they just keep getting boosted, and the rest of the characters just straight up get shafted, right? That's my initial worry. I do not like the fact that a completely free-to-play team, like the Vader team, it appears was not fully thought out as a counter. And I mean, this is a hard team to come up with a counter, right? Who would have thought to put together Vader with Fallen Basti, Thrawn, Watt, and Traya? Like, it's a hodgepodge team. It eats up a bunch of teams in order to do that for something like GAC, right? So it still has its drawbacks. But I don't like the fact that it looks like we're now going to get another boost to Galactic Legend Rey. DT, what do you think about the Vader counter? Like, it is a kind of a very unique, well thought out team, right? Very unique. Eats up a lot of different teams, so it's not the easiest thing to kind of keep in GAC. You lose a lot of teams in order to do it. But do you think that this might lead to a boost in Galactic Legend Rey now? And could that be kind of a cycle between Rey and Kylo where people are going to be expecting boosts because simple teams are countering them?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, the Vader rework, I absolutely love it, and it's the most fun I've had in this game for a while. Like, he is the end of Rogue One. Like, that's exactly how Vader should have always been. It's so much fun. I immediately relicked Vader. Like, I think I had him gear 12 or something. Like, he's up at, I think, R6 now. He's awesome. He's so much fun. In terms of the game balance, I see what you're saying, Finn. I mean, Rey, especially folks that went for Rey first and maybe aren't getting Kylo or are still far from Kylo, like, they definitely feel like they got the short end of the stick. You know, they're out in raids. Now in PvP, they don't even really have the best option. I really hope it doesn't lead to another round of buffs for Rey or more power creep. Honestly, I think, if anything, I'd rather see them take Kylo's power level down a little bit, right? So address these cheese teams, I agree with that, but I don't think they should boost up Rey even more based on what they've done with Kylo, right? Kylo is a monster now. But the Vader counter seems fine to me. That it is expensive, especially if you pull in all those other pieces, even just Watt alone, right? He's amazing on so many teams. It's a huge piece to take for a counter. But I really don't think Rey should get buffed even more. She's still insane. And you can get around this counter with some clever modding too, right? Like, there's theory crafting against the theory crafting, right? There's options to shut this down. So it doesn't always work. And it takes a lot of investment to work, right? Like, you have to relic up your Vader. You need very specific mods. You have to relic often a lot of the other team around him. to make it consistent. So I hope they don't go that route. I feel like they're not going to. I mean, with Jedi Knight Luke just slotting under Rey now for a lot of folks, that can even shut it down. So I don't think I can see a Rey buff coming. I think Rey and Kylo, they're going to kind of leave alone until the next big thing comes with the Galactic challenges. That's my hope, anyways. But I have Rey now, so I see the pain, right? I'm working around that, so I don't know exactly how I'm going to use her yet for next GAC rounds. Oh, you're on mute, Finn, by the way.
That would help. You said you don't have Kylo, but you have Rey, right?
No. I got Kylo first. I just
now you're working
Rey.
on Rey. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't have her alt yet, so they're both ready to go. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll ask you. Maybe this is a hypothetical for you. If you had worked on Rey first, right? Would you feel like you made the wrong decision right now in going for Rey over Kylo, or do you
Rey
still
first
feel like
honors?
it's balanced?
No, I would have felt like it was the wrong decision strictly because of the raid rewards. You know, it took me 3 or 4 months to get Rey after getting Kylo, and that would have been a ton of raid rewards alone sitting out of, right? You can climb an arena with either of them; they're both viable. But just the PvE alone is huge for Rey.
Mm-hmm. All right, Grim, what are your thoughts? Like, I think we're all fans of the Vader rework, right? But I think the question is more towards the
me
interaction.
more than anyone.
I know. We know about
'Cause,
Grim
I mean,
and his love for Vader.
Darth Vader's my man. I've been asking for the Rogue One version of Vader for a very long time. So, they finally gave it to me, and I'm happy. But as far as the new Darth Vader counter to Rey, that team does have it. Like you said, it takes from a lot of really good teams. If you leave it on defense, prepare to fall into way down the line, because everything can beat it.
Yes.
When it's on defense.
Yes, you will have to switch it out for defense.
Yeah,
It's
the
offense
not
and switch out.
even open properly.
And
on defense, it's bad.
To be honest, I really would like to see somebody try it against a Rey that has Luke on the team, because then your Vader ain't so fast no more.
Yeah.
And Luke destroys him on the Rey team. So I mean, we'll have to see when more people are able to get Luke on their teams, because a lot of people did miss out on Luke due to the requirements.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I would love to get Luke, but yeah, that ain't gonna happen. But and I can understand people being a little pissed, because Rey was amazing. She was the top 50 of my freaking shard was all Reys until they fixed Kylo. Now it's Rey and Kylo in the top 50. It's nice to see, or in the top 25. It's nice to see a selection of those rather than just one. Like the Rex meta all over again.
Wow, that's going back.
The Jedi Knight Revan meta all over again, where it was just a wall of those, and it was a slog to do those battles because it was all mirror matches, and it was the most annoying thing ever. I think it's good. I think it sucks, but it gives people options. It's no more. If you have Rey, more than likely you do have Vader. So you can probably build that counter team to fight the other Reys and get back your positions that you might have dropped to people that use the Vader team on your Rey. So, I mean, I like how it gave us another team into the mesh of the meta.
Yep.
And countering.
And I'm watching the chat, by the way. Hi to all of you people that are joining, including Ouchie, who just joined, and Asuka. Hi, Asuka. Let me see who else. RSG Vormax is here. Neo Venom is here. Hi, guys. Feed Zeke is here. Welcome, Feed Zeke. Maz Kanada is here as well. Hi, everyone. Normally during this time, we have our Star Wars D&D campaign, but Ranger, unfortunately, is in the middle of a thunderstorm, so he wasn't having it. And I was planning on doing Good and Bad after D&D, but instead, we're doing it during the time of D&D with some of our lovely D&D members that are right here. One's there, and one's there, and there. Okay, so we're going through here. Hi, Kazekage2 Easy and CBO97. Welcome, guys. Revenator. Hi. So we are doing our good and bad, and we were just talking about the Vader and the Rey stuff. And yeah, I do like the Vader rework. I am honestly worried that they're going to do a boost to Rey just because of how of the characters being used to counter her. I hope not, but I am afraid that it may unfortunately happen. So, all right.
I hope not. So that's all I can say about it. I hope not.
So we had some goods, we had a couple of bads, then we have one more thing here. Let me see if I have this ready, because let me see. Okay, hold on. I'm going to grab this. Sorry, I have to grab the link here. I had it and it went away on me. So let me do that. Okay. There was one other thing here that I have to bring up, and it was, in fact, I think, a great piece for us to theorycraft on. Anthony Daniels met with the people at CG. He put out a post, and if you guys don't know who Anthony Daniels is the actor that plays C-3PO. And he put a joy to spend time with the Galaxy of Heroes team from Capital Games and EA. Creative minds thinking alike, all big Star Wars fans. Threepio is rather proud to be a part of Galaxy of Heroes, so am I. Nobody had to wear a mask to meet up, which is interesting. Even me, for once. Who would have ever thought I would Zoom? F8, y'all. So he Zoomed called with the people at Galaxy of Heroes, which I think is really, really awesome. Now, he hasn't replied to any of the tweets that I saw asking him things about what they discussed and trying to get hints and all that kind of stuff, right? And I don't...
meta incoming.
So
the golden god will be real.
That is exactly where I was going, which is kind of what are we thinking this may have been related to. First off, I am going to give this a thumbs up.
Because this is good.
Because I love the fact when they bring in the actors, that means either they're tweaking something old or hopefully they're working on something new, right? And we have been talking potentially about the red appendage 3PO. Which would be kind of cool to have. We already have 3PO on the back of Chewie as part of the Luke event, right?
I love that, by the way. Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. So if we get a new 3PO, that would be even cooler. But we're going to go speculation.
I want like jailbreak.
New Chewbacca with the broken up 3PO backpack.
On his back.
That would be good too. I would love that.
Or Battle Droid 3PO.
Yeah. Battle Droid 3PO.
Die, Jedi scum! Oh, I'm so sorry.
So here's the bigger question, though. Is this the reason why they have not talked to Samuel L. Jackson? Poor Mace Windu.
I think they should.
Poor Mace Windu. No, Samuel L. Jackson would just come and yell at everyone at CG why his characters suck so much.
Oh, he would.
If he understood the game.
I can see him doing the Pulp Fiction eye. Like all seriously.
Yeah. All right, but not jumping onto Mace Windu because that's way too easy of a target there. Okay, Anthony Daniels, what do we think this could be potentially for? Like, do you think it's for a new 3PO? Do you think it might be for a raid? Right? It could be for a raid. Could it be because they've given us some feats and stuff? Could there be a new raid that is in fact a journey through the whole Cloud City experience? Because I've been thinking about that lately, which is we've gotten, it might be because of the Empire Strikes Back stuff in particular, right? But we have gotten so much stuff regarding Cloud City and Lando and Lobot, and we have the whole chain of feats, right? I think we could see a raid that really didn't involve ships, because I think we worry about the ability to use ships in a raid right now, even for one phase, simply because of how many teams we can field. But a battle through Cloud City where ultimately at the end you have like the dinner party with Vader and Boba, and you're getting yourself captured, and at the very end of it there is a Carbonite Han. Just ending the entire sequence, there's a Carbonite Han just to end. Not necessarily your raid reward, but just saying. I think that would be pretty cool. But DT, if you were to theorycraft, what is Anthony Daniels being a part of here? Do you think new character, new raid? Where do your thoughts go?
So that would be cool, and I like that idea. I think that event would make us all regret the Vader rework because we'd just get destroyed by Merciless Massacre. But honestly, I would love a new Threepio. Other than like Red Arm or Battle Droid, I don't see like jailbroken Threepio from the new movie, right? Like the model looks exactly the same, even though Babu Frick and Threepio would be cool. I feel like if I were to take a bet, I would say he might be maybe voicing like the narration for these galactic challenges, like maybe, kind of how we have the kind of mini story for some of the other areas. I'm wondering if they maybe used him to, run into that, like he's going to walk us through what the challenges are, or maybe that a new 3PO could be a reward from that event. That's the only thing I wonder about, though, is how do they make him visually distinct, and which faction does he fall under? Because the 3PO we have now works with every faction on the light side, right? Pretty much. It's pretty all-encompassing, kind of like R2. So I feel like it's a struggle to find a new, like, unique 3PO outside of like Red Arm, which would be cool. I'm all for that.
John Moran, one of our other D&D players, has mentioned that, he said Anthony Daniels will now be voicing every single Galactic Chase event. You can just picture it right now. Oh, look, a new Galactic Chase event has appeared in your game. Oh, God.
Exactly. I could see it, though. I speak 10,000 languages.
And I am here to tell you that there is a new Galactic Chase.
Oh no, your guild officers are mad at you.
Oh,
you
God.
might want to reply to them.
Speaking of which, I need to.
I could see it being like a raid where you're fighting, like say you're fighting against all the stormtroopers and stuff that are storming onto the Corellian Corvette before trying to get away with Leia and the blueprints, and in the middle of the battle you see 3PO and R2 like go across and not get shot, and then the enrage is Vader shows up and kills your entire party, and that's part of it.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. But I think things like this are pretty awesome.
I mean, he's got one hell of a unique voice, so I could see them possibly asking him if he'd do some voice lines for the game itself. If not, voice a new 3PO. That would be freaking badass. So, yeah. I mean, even if it's not that, it's awesome that he got to talk to the CG guys. I'm jealous. I would have loved to talk to Anthony Daniels as well. I mean, the dude's amazing. So we'll see.
Yeah. So I think this at least, I think this is what the community has been looking for, right? It is these hints, these little tidbits that give us something to talk about in this game, and the overall quietness has always led to things festering and people kind of getting upset, and then once you let people kind of fester within themselves, they just get angrier and angrier because there's nothing to do. Things like this, we had the Crumb puzzle recently as well, right? That gave us the hint towards Luke. I mean, these are the things that I think are pretty awesome, and I am glad that they are doing that. One thing I will bring out, though, with that puzzle, and I don't know if this is actually going to fit in anywhere, right? But with the puzzle, we saw at the end, right? It was an image with Luke, Vader, and EP in the back, right? We had a new Luke. We had a Vader rework. Are we going to get something new with the Palpatine? Like, it's the only character that was in that kind of trailer and in the puzzle that we have not accounted for at all with any kind of rework, any kind of update. Palpatine's character in game is still pretty good, right? He's still a very usable character, a solid leader. I don't think he necessarily needs any kind of update, but he's the only one that didn't really get anything. And I know he wasn't in the primary focus, he was kind of off in the background, but could we see something with Palpatine in the upcoming months? And does that lead even more maybe towards a raid where maybe a new Palpatine is in fact the raid reward? I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know how you would differentiate the new Palpatine either, though. That's the other problem.
I mean,
I don't know how you would do it.
I could see them maybe doing the same thing they did with the Vader that we already have, just modify the Palp that we already have to give him more synergy with Vader. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, the rule of two, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
New Palpatine could be at least visually unique compared to, the last film, right? We could have like semi-zombie Palpatine.
That's true.
He at least looks different, right? So you could have a new kit there. But yeah, it would be wild because he's still pretty viable for, there's a lot of uses for Palpatine now in the game, even without Vader. So it would be cool to see a touch up or a new Palpatine.
Maybe a new Palpatine that is both Sith and First Order.
Let's not get into that discussion. Let's not get into the whole factions.
He's the final order, right?
Yeah, let's not get into that because we have a Luke that's not a rebel, and we have a Rey from Episode 9 that's not a Jedi. Like let's not get into that.
Yeah. I think it's unlikely we get a new Palpatine, but it would be cool.
Right.
He's just right up there with Vader. He should always be.
It also has the clone tag as well.
Really?
Night Sister tag. Why not? He's a zombie.
I went there.
Oh my god. All right. So, in recapping then, we had a bunch of goods, a bunch of bads, and actually it was only 2 bads. But looking back in this week, we have 6-2, but you know that not the numbers adding up does not always matter. So overall, this week is getting a thumbs up. There you go. So it is a thumbs up couple of weeks because we had taken the last week off. So yeah, that's it for good and bad. Do you guys agree? Let me do this. Do you guys agree with a thumbs up for the week? I gave it a thumbs up, but what do you guys think?
I give it a thumbs up. The Unity upgrade, I mean, I have yet to see anything bad come from this upgrade so far. I mean, we'll see in the future. I'm loving it, man.
Yeah, I completely agree. Thumbs up from me. Just the fact that they've pushed the Unity upgrade, I know from a development perspective, means they can move so many resources that we're working on it. I have a lot of hope, optimism for the game, and rebellions are built on hope. So hopefully we get some new content.
All right, so I'm gonna do something a little different here to kind of wrap up the stream. We did have 2 kind of things going on. We had the RSG 4th anniversary. We also had my birthday. We had Ranger's birthday. For the 4th anniversary, Ranger told me I would have to drink, but we got so distracted with all of our guests and everything, it didn't happen. I did have this waiting. So, to end it, because I did say I would, I will drink this for you guys. This is what I can do for kind of. Yeah.
What is it?
It's sparkling wine. It's Prosecco.
Oh,
okay.
It's a small bottle of Prosecco. See? And I'll get questions and stuff too. We don't normally do questions and stuff with good and bad, but figured what the hell. Yep, I'm going off the deep end. I've completely lost my mind. It's been a crazy time. It has been a crazy time here. Chug? You want me to chug this?
Chug.
Oh my god.
Like the Prosecco.
Oh,
That is
that would. Oh,
It's baby steps to graduate you to bourbon, right, Finn?
Oh, I
I'm
love
sure
bourbon.
Ranger will send you some.
Oh, I love bourbon. A solid old fashioned is like my favorite thing ever. It's like my favorite drink. Short of just like straight up tequila. Okay, let me see. What do I have to do here to open this thing? There we go. Okay. Haha. Okay, it's fizzing. So hold on.
So they're just gonna invite the biggest belch ever after he's done.
Mhm.
Wow.
There we go. It has been
See that?
chugged. You requested. It has been chugged. See? There we go. See, it's a celebration. It's a celebration. Sorry. I don't have the voices. All
I
right.
don't know. Anyone else feel like you were just watching a teenager with his first beer?
A little bit, yeah. But I'm glad that you would share that
awful.
with us, Finn.
I know
And
you're supposed to sip it
just
normally.
a PSA that we do not support underage drinking.
Mm-hmm. That's why I left the beard. You don't question it that way. If I got rid of the beard, there would be questions, and I would expect that. But
Yeah, it would.
Yes.
My brothers had beards at like 16, man. You can do it.
Okay, hold on. Do you want to hear the belch or not? Because I can feel it. I can feel it bubbling.
It's coming. We all know it's
Oh,
gonna
I know it's coming. It is definitely coming. Hey, Zariel. All right, let me go see if I can grab some questions here. I'm letting it like fester. It's awful. Okay, let's see. We'll get through a few questions here. Yeah, normally I would sip it, but I was told to chug, so. I am not going to pass out from a single Prosecco. Sorry, no, I am fine.
That's how we kick off the sleep stream.
Yeah, I know. This is a sleep stream. I just drank a whole bottle of Prosecco.
Ask questions until Finn passes out.
All right. Let's see. Okay, we have a few questions here. So RSG Vormax, if CG added a mod fusion option that allowed player to fuse 2 or 3 mods into better mods purple to help with the mod caplet. Okay. No, that almost I held it almost. Oh, okay. No. I don't think the merging of mods would help. I do have an idea, by the way. It's a video that I'm working on. I've mentioned it in the streams before, but there is a way they can get mods to work. But what they actually need to do is introduce new levels. There we go. There's part of it.
I think that would make it way worse if you had to fuse your god mods together. The game would be broken. It would be so crazy.
Yep. Wolfell. Finn will now go missing for a week and end up married to some hooker. You just fine. You guys expect weird things from me when I drink. Holy crap.
And then we do a weekly recap and be talking about it, and both me and Ranger would be like, "All Finn makes us so proud."
I grab the hookers. Ranger gets the blow. We're fine. All right.
6-day bender. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't think mod fusion is the way to do it. There is another way to make it so mods have better quality, but and I'll make a video on that soon here. Asuka,
we
question.
did a big, huge theory craft of that a while back on one of the streams, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Asuka, question. The fact that Vader rework specified that Vader represents the end of Rogue One, does that open the door to a Return of the Jedi or Galactic Legend Vader?
Oh, yeah, entirely possible.
See, my biggest problem, and we talked about this just now with Palpatine, right? How do you differentiate between the Palpatines and the Vaders, right? You can kind of differentiate the latest trilogy, like the last trilogy Palpatine, with the original trilogy, right? You can make that separation to some extent. But I don't think we're at the point where we're working on that trilogy right now. We're still kind of in the original trilogy mode, and we just got like Rogue One Vader, so we're in that same general time frame of episode 4, 5, 6. I don't know how they could make another Vader that would look unique enough to that you could justify a new one. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Could you? I don't know what you would do. The only Vader I can think of is helmetless one, like at the end of episode 6, right? When he finally took off the helmet, and maybe like the beginning of, or like, what was it, episode 3, when you saw him kind of with the helmet coming on, and you kind of see like the burnt face Vader. Like, that's the only other Vader I can really see them coming out with. I don't know what abilities you would do, because he was dying at the end of episode 6.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the nice things about the way CG has the license for Star Wars with this game, is they are not limited to canon.
So where would you
they
go out of
could-
canon?
They could go for the Vader comic books, the recent Vader comic books version of Vader. And I mean, he makes our in-game version in the Rogue One Vader look like a pansy.
Well, I'm not talking necessarily about
Does he
abilities,
look
right?
different,
But, I
though?
mean-
Yeah, does he look different? Because I think he still looked
Yeah,
the
his
same.
suit looks different. His
Oh,
suit
it does?
looks different
Okay.
in the comic books. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
I mean, it looks similar, but there are differences. Lots of them, actually.
Okay.
I mean, if they
I mean-
don't make Vader a galactic legend, I think they missed the boat, right? But they have
And-
challenges for sure on the look.
Well, they may not.
And-
I'm not
Well, to
expecting
be honest,
them,
they could
actually.
do Lord Vader
They could.
before he got in the suit as the galactic legend version of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yellow eyes, blue lightsaber,
Bonus
force
point
choke
if
Vader.
if the animation for him dying is the barbecue Vader.
God. So I actually don't know if Vader would ever be a galactic legend, right? Because if you look at the way that Star Wars worked out, I think the next two galactic legends are going to be Old Man Luke and Old Man Palpatine, right? Because even when you look at the way that the Empire and the Sith were structured, Palpatine was still above Vader, and it makes more sense, I think, to have Palpatine as the galactic legend. Vader is still iconic in his own right, but I'm thinking the next ones are going to be, in fact, Old Man Vader, and not Old Man Vader, Old Man Palpatine and Old Man Luke from the new trilogies as the new galactic legends. And you can see all the characters kind of building
Entirely
up to that
possible.
in some way, right? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I have a hard time seeing Vader as a galactic legend outside of lore, right? If you take lore
Even
out
though
of it,
Vader and Luke are two of the most iconic characters in all of Star Wars,
yeah.
it's logical that they should be two of the best characters in the game. I mean, they should be.
I mean, okay, let me ask it this way.
They're
then.
pretty darn close to it with Jedi Luke and the new Vader. They're pretty
Yeah.
close.
They are. And that's looking more at like the episode 5 kind of conflict, right? If you look at what they're doing right now with Galactic Legends and the way they're pairing them together, right? I think we can see Rey and Kylo easily being paired together. Like the whole new trilogy is kind of based on that. If we look at the new trilogy, though, they did kind of loop together the new Luke, right? Old Man Luke and Palpatine as kind of the main big forces, maybe Leia on the light side, but really it's kind of Luke and Palpatine as the most powerful on their sides, kind of helping their sides, right? Could you see a new version of Kenobi? Because I think the true opposite to Vader does still remain Kenobi, even when they went into the ship, right? Kenobi, strike me down and I'll be more powerful than you can become and all that kind of stuff, right? The antithesis to Vader always seems to be Kenobi. And so could we see at some point, not necessarily anytime soon, but could we see a Galactic Legend Kenobi and a Galactic Legend Vader instead of pairing him with
That's
Luke?
why I was saying Lord Vader, Yellow Eyes Vader with the blue lightsaber, and a younger version of Kenobi.
Yeah.
Episode 3.
Yeah.
The battle on Mustafar.
And we do have that, we have that Anakin, right? We have a Padawan Anakin currently in the game as an NPC. We don't have a Padawan version of Kenobi, right? We just have General Kenobi and then we have Old Ben.
GK, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's entirely possible that they might introduce some new characters as galactic legends.
Mhm.
I mean, we got some really, really powerful characters in the new Mandalorian show. Like Moff Gideon.
Yep.
I mean, he's got to be somebody very powerful to be able to be like, hey, look at this neat little toothpick called the Darksaber.
That is
Definitely.
true.
And maybe like full Beskar armor Mando.
And not to mention, the rumor mill's been running. Ahsoka's coming. So,
Ahsoka's
I
coming?
mean, they could in the Mando.
Oh,
season
in
2.
Mandalorian, yeah, Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
I thought you meant in game. I was like, wait, there's another. Okay,
I mean,
okay, I'm with you.
and
Ahsoka's awesome.
they can also pull from other aspects as well. Maybe we'll see something from like the old Republic era. Maybe Exar Kun, or maybe we'll get Mechanimal from the Solo movie.
Those are still my hopes.
They gotta go back to
anything,
Clone Wars and bring us Pong Krill.
Yeah. Oh, Pong Krell would be awesome, dude.
Yeah, wouldn't
I
it?
still want them to finish off the bounty hunters and bring us Forlom. God, if they bring in
I mean-
Forlom and just work on that whole
Hondo,
bounty hunter
man.
squad, that would be awesome.
They're waiting for Hondo, definitely.
I mean, that's
Hondo
one
and
of
a bunch
the
of
nice
Ugnaughts.
things is they have a huge pool of characters they can choose from to put in this game.
Yep.
I mean, to be able to foresee what they're doing is going to be pretty darn difficult.
Yeah. All right, let's do a couple more questions here. John Moran says, how are you modding Vader now? I Relic 7'd him, and I'm still running speed potency set on him. Grim, I'll leave that to you. You seem to be extra enthusiastic about Vader. What do you think should be the proper modding for Vader right now?
There's multiple ways. A lot of people are still doing the speed set with focusing on potency and speed secondaries. Me personally, I like running offense set with speed secondaries on them. You know, dual, yes, if you can, dual offense with speed and crit damage on the triangle, offense on the cross. And I mean, once he gets the Merciless Massacre off, he kills the entire team. And then, basic one shot. Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
There's puddle left where that one was. Basic, killed. Basic, killed. Basic, killed. Oh, hi, Supreme Leader Kylo. Throw a lightsaber. 400K. Well, there you go. I mean, he's one of the characters now, thanks to his unique and how much speed he can gain from just his team. You can pretty much mod him the way you want to play him. You're not really limited on that one this time around.
Yeah. Okay. And let's see, next question. Neovenom 2 says, RSG, in the comics, there was an assassin droid called C3PX. Do you think Anthony could be voicing him for the game? I am not familiar. Are either of you aware of C3PX? I am not.
The red-eyed Threepio?
I do not know.
Familiar with the comics.
You know what? There's another more well-known protocol droid unit in the Star Wars universe, a black one, black chrome, and
is it the one we have in the game already?
Version of R2D2.
Is it the one we have that's like our achievements droid or like our quest droid? Is that one?
No.
Okay.
I mean, Dr. Afra's two droids.
Oh. I do want that.
Hey, that's another character that I'd love to see in this game, Dr. Afra and her two droids. So, I mean, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, and we'll go to the last question here from NR Wilson. Says, what are you looking for gear-wise, challenge-wise? I'm in the new daily challenge thing they announced. I mean, gear-wise, we know, right? Stun guns, stun cuffs, the eyeballs, both of them, both eyeballs, any of the Gear 12 Plus, any of the Gear 12 stuff. I mean, it's all the normal stuff that we're on a crunch for, right? And I think they can figure that out pretty easily with looking at their stats and stuff, what people are low on. But yeah, those would be the ones I'm looking for. I'm still hoping that they do a little bit more than that, though. I think it would be cool to get this was my suggestion. I know a lot of you guys said
your idea was really good,
and I'm still hoping they do that.
Characters that are special only to that,
yep. And that's what I'm hoping for. Like, I'm still kind of hoping that you get characters from these challenges. Like, you can potentially get Dr. Afra, you could get a Meccano Mall, you could get an XR Kun or something like that, right? Where you work through these daily challenges, and you can still work on some of the characters. You get the gear. And if you do the lower tiers, you get the gear, so you can work on the characters to ultimately get the challenge, and then you get the challenges, you get the characters, and then afterwards, right, those character shards become shard shop currency. So in a way, they're giving you stuff that you can get your own gear for. You can just take those shards, convert them, and then buy things in the shard shop. Like, that's what I would ultimately hope for, but I don't know what their plan is. They're still, even to Crum's explanation in the Galactic War Report, he basically said they're still like halfway through developing it. So I don't know if that means they have the template, but they haven't coded it, or whether or not they're kind of deciding what to code as they're going along, right? Like 50% could mean a whole bunch of things when you're just kind of, when you look at the entire process, you don't know if it's 50% of the whole thing and they're working everything. Even kind of like, are you putting on your socks first and then your shoes, or are you putting sock and shoe, right? You can end up in different scenarios where you're like lopsided, or you have both socks, so now your feet are just gonna get constantly wet. Like it can go either way. So I don't know where they are in the process for me to really know, but that would be my hope. We get shards. DT, what would you hope for with the Galactic Challenges?
So, I mean, I would hope for all the gear you listed, right? We know the bottlenecks. It's very clear, even though CG says there's no bottleneck, that they know what they are: stun guns, cryos, and then all the gear 12 plus stuff. I think what's probably going to happen and what's likely with the Galactic Challenges is they're going to follow the same pattern of the GAC launch, which is what Crum alluded to a little bit, right? I think when it first comes out, we're going to get awesome gear rewards. And specifically, I think they're going to give a lot of stun guns because they've shifted a lot of the burden on the newer characters to cryos. I don't think we're going to get as many cryos as we all desperately want and need, but I think they'll probably ease back on stun guns, which is still a huge bottleneck for 99% of the player base, right? I still struggle for cryos or for stun guns at 6.4 million. Like, you need way too many of them. But I think phase one will be probably like stun gun focused or some general gear. And then I think in a couple months, they're going to iterate on it and they're going to add a layer of character shards with like competition for who can, clear the most waves, something like that. Like, they're going to add on top of it some type of GAC type format. That's my guess. Is I don't think that second piece of the bracketing and the format to make it competitive across multiple people is done yet. I think they have the basic kind of zoning battles ready and like the infrastructure to create the challenges, but I don't think they have the framework to aggregate everything yet. I think that's the piece that's probably still pending.
And you're muted again.
Grim, what do you think? That's what I was asking. You were talking too. You just talked to the
I really liked your idea on the special characters specifically to that area that you could farm up. And I also agree it would be really nice to have other places to get the stun guns, the Gear 12 pieces, the things that pretty much everyone, even the developers that play the game, are stuck behind the stun gun wall for about 90% of their characters. So, but to be honest, I get a feeling this is going to be just like the Blitz mode in MSF, where you're just going to fight endless waves of PvP squads, all competing for one character. That's what I get feel. That's what it sounds like from the way they were describing it. I really hope they don't go that way, because the Blitz mode in MSF sucked so bad.
Yep.
Oh, I hated that mode.
Yeah, I agree. I put that game down specifically because of Blitz mode. It was so dreadful, and people bought it, right? So we know Galaxy of Heroes has issues enforcing the general cheating, right? And that's a whole another can of worms and another topic, but that would be a huge concern. That's why tournaments went away, right? People were exploiting the system. So I really hope it's not like Blitz mode. I think of it more like a Galactic War Plus. At least that's the hope.
That's the hope, yeah.
In that format, yeah.
For me, I hope they take some of the ideas from other gacha style games like this that do the tower system, where it's you fight stage after stage, and the higher you get, the better the rewards get, and it's just you can keep on going until until you reach the I cannot afford to spend any more money on crystals for the energy refresh type thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, those modes in those games were really entertaining because it was different teams every time. It wasn't PvP stuff. It was like, storyline type squads for that game. And it was fun. I'd like to see them do that with this.
So I've seen it with different games, right? So I'll ask this question. With those tower type stuff, do you have to run through the tower every single day? or do you get
No.
to leave off at a certain point?
For like the ones that I've played, usually what they do is they give you a week to get through, get as high as you can, and you get to a point and decide to stop for the day. You can resume the next day at the same spot, or there's they give you an option to restart it if you want to fork over the
Okay.
cash shop currency to do it and get the rewards all over again. So
Okay, so you're saying it'll be a payout after a week. That would be kind of what you're thinking of if they do a tower structure. You work through the tower for the week, you play a little bit every single day, try to move up as high as you can, so on and so forth, and then end of week,
and then it resets.
then it resets.
At the end
okay.
of the week. And there are a couple that did where for each stage you completed at the end of the week, it gave you a bunch of currency to spend in a shop.
Okay.
That had all sorts of stuff specific to only that shop, which I don't know if I'd like that because we already have too many shops in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do not need another currency, man.
That was my concern too. When you talked about using energy for it to see how high you can get, because I was like, wait, which energy are we using? Because we need every single energy that we're using right now. Regular for shards, fleet for shards now, cantina for relics, mod for mods.
Yeah.
Like we don't have anything to spare.
Well, like I remember one of the ones, it was King's Raid was the one that I was playing. They had an endless mode like that and every 10 levels you'd get cash shop currency as the reward. And each stage had different ones, like you could get character shards in one, you'd get gold or one of the currencies, and then the next one you get another type of the currency, and then the next one would give you a box that would give you some random gear and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah, I suspect that it's not going to be tied to an energy, and from the sounds of it, they wanted us to be able to play it as much as we wanted for free.
Yeah,
which seems strange, right? But I think it's going to come with some weird character requirements, which is how they're going to monetize it. And I do think there's probably going to be like a weekly bracket, but I think it's going to be not one event for the week. I think it's going to be like a series of maybe 2 or 3 different challenges. That's my guess, anyways.
What would you think? Because maybe this is just me because of how I built my roster, but you see them always bringing out a game mode that makes it work on something that people are intentionally avoiding, right? So they bring out the new characters that require you to relic characters that people haven't worked on, and so on and so forth. For the purposes of Arena and for the purposes of Galactic Legends, people have been top loading their roster, right? What if this game mode gets people to, how I call it, bottom fluff their roster? And by that, I mean, if this game mode is maybe similar to a tower structure, but you can only use every character one time. So that if you're at the point where on stage 1, you have to use like gear 12 characters, that gear 12 character is gone, right? But if you have a gear 8 character, you can throw that against it. Kind of like like the first node of GW, right? You're not going to throw you can in GW because you can use it all the way through. But if you knew you couldn't use the same character later on, right? What if they made it so that every character can only be used once? Because they did say this was to try and make you use your entire roster, right? So could they be trying to actually get people, as weird as this is, to bottom fluff their roster by getting characters to gear 8 and gear 7 that otherwise they wouldn't for this particular reason, so they can use those characters that they otherwise normally wouldn't?
I could see that. I mean, I could see them doing like maybe themed ones where this week or this season is all you can only use rebels, and if a character dies, it dies. You can't use them in the next phase or in the next battle type thing.
Yeah. My hope is that they don't character limit it like that, but I think they're going to control for like the bottom fluffing roster through the feats, right? They're going to require a specific set of weird tunes that nobody has picked up, right? Like, oh, this requires you to use 3 Tuskens, like, oh, and Ugnaught, right? Like, you're not going to get this extra bonus if you don't have Relic 7 Tuscans, right? So no one will get it except for like Urs, right? Like one person will clear it and it'll be fine. I hope they don't limit it, because they're selling it as kind of like an endless play mode, right? Like you can play this a lot. And I think, I mean, we would be limited to like what, maybe 20 battles if we have tunes be single use in the fight. Maybe for the climbing, I think it would make it definitely more interesting. Like now I have to dust off my Phoenix squad and try and use them for wave 1, so I don't waste a good team, right? Because I'm not using them anywhere else. But yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see. There's a lot of potential here that I'm really excited for.
Okay. So there you go. So you got a little bit of extra on top of your regular good and bad here. We went through the news and notes, and we also gave a little bit more about a little bit of Q&A, gave our thoughts about some stuff. It said all levels of players can participate. Yep, just like Galactic War. The idea would be that the tower scales to your level and your roster in some way, shape, or form, right? It's the same way Galactic War works. It does scale based on where you're at, so that would be the general idea of this. So
You forgot one thing for the good and bad
what?
to give a thumbs up and or thumbs down to. RSG fan for what they've done for RSG and the community.
Yep, I'll say that too. Yep, thumbs up to RSG fan. Gave money to the Wounded Warrior Project, which, by the way, hold on, let me show you guys. Got a cool Wounded Warrior tumbler from them.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's the Wounded Warrior tumbler, which is now very close in line with this tumbler. Not sure which is my favorite. It's a close one. But these are definitely my two favorite tumblers right now. But thank you to RSG fan, donated a lot to us in the 4th year anniversary stream that we did on Wednesday. Donated a lot to the Wounded Warrior Project. So thank you to RSG fan. Really appreciate it. And you guys got a little extra on this good and bad. And a little longer than I wanted to. I wanted to keep it to about an hour, a little bit over. But hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, for those of you guys that weren't sure, did a little bit of a different format. One's because my schedule has been kind of crazy this past week, so I haven't had a chance to record it. So I was planning on going live anyways. But I was going to go live after our D&D stream. But Ranger, unfortunately, is in the middle of thunderstorms, and his power is going in and out. So we had to kind of restructure it. We moved this up. Have a great group of guys here who also join us for D&D. Devil's Treasure Grim down below. So thank you to you guys for joining. And if you guys didn't get the big announcement we made earlier in this week, we are actually going to now have 2 D&D campaigns running on the weekends. Starting on Saturday, we're going to have a new Dungeons & Dragons stream on Twitch. So we're going to have a new one on Twitch. It is going to be the Wildmount campaign of Dungeons & Dragons. It's the new one that was released based on the Critical Role campaign. We have new characters. We're going to be role-playing. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun for that. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. That'll be at 8 p.m. on Saturdays beginning next Saturday. And then we will continue to have our 5 p.m. Sunday Star Wars Dungeons & Dragons on YouTube. So Saturday on Twitch, Sunday on YouTube. Hope you guys can join us for both of those. And on that note, let me do this here. This is my regular ending here. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode of Good and Bad. A little bit different, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure that you subscribe using the button down below. Check out some of our other videos that are available to you. And on that note, I Infinity with Reality Skewed Gamers. And thank you guys for joining, and I will see you next time.